Hello everyone, this is your loving host, radio and TV personality Dr. Afshan Hashmi. And friends, today I will be talking about a topic which is very close to my heart, and it is called Plight of Muslims in India. And before starting the discussion on it, I just wanted to remind you that these are my two books. Please go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. Having said that, friends, I just wanted to remind you that these are my two books. The first one, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. When this book came, there was lot of research going on Jugaad in Stanford and Harvard, and this is written in the same pattern as Stanford and Harvard, but in a very conversational manner, and there are beautiful case studies about it. I am an India expert, and everybody calls me America's India expert, and I have taken delegations to India, and also I have mediated US India relationship, as well as when the civil nuclear treaty was going on. I helped US and India in US and India relationship. So I have worked a lot on US India relations, to say that. And this is a book about how Indian principles of Jugaad can lead to success in the world. So if you have a business, you can go and buy this book and give me an honest review. And this book was hot number one new release on Amazon, as well as bestseller on Amazon. And having said that, friends, the second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, was a very timely book, but it came before. It's a science fiction, and in a story, I predicted that what harm bioterrorism can do, and see what COVID does. So that was my prediction in a fiction story written. And right now, uh, so friends, actually, so this my phone was ringing, and I had to stop that. I don't know who wants me right now. So having said that, friends, this, the outbreak of a monstrous infection, it's a science fiction book. And in this science fiction book, in a very I predicted about bioterrorism after doing research, because I am a scientist by profession, a biochemist by profession, and this book came in a fiction story in 2019, when there was no trace of coronavirus. And look what happened. So my predictions are quite accurate, I would say that. So today I thought I will talk about some plight of Muslims in India, some predictions and thoughts. And for this book, and this was also an Amazon bestseller. And for this book, I want a movie to be made. So all those Hollywood, Bollywood, Netflix, and whoever makes movies, and whoever makes movies and web series and all that, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com, and I am looking to sell the licensing rights to be made into a movie or into a web series or TV series. So all those Hollywood, Bollywood, producers listening, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. Having said that, friends, this program will be syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners under the banner Dr. Afshan Hashmi's doco series. And having said that, friends, I will be talking about the topic, and there will be couple of segments in that. And it will be a very interesting program. And why I am giving this on 2 days before Eid, the reason is that I am so concerned about reading about plight of Muslims in India. And there is a petition going on right now to remove Sonal Shah from the Department of Homeland Security. And Muslims here in America are very concerned about her. And I haven't signed the petition. I don't get in those kind of politics, but that petition is going on, and Muslims here in Washington D.C. area are very concerned that and they want removal of Sonal Shah from Department of Homeland Security. And and there is a petition going on for President Biden. And I have been reading about plight of Muslims in India, and I am so concerned and I am so touched. What the current government is doing for Muslims. We all have like all Indians have voted, and India is a secular country, so why they are and whatever their agenda is, why are they making it a nationalist Hindu country? Why they want to make that, just think, I live here in America, in Washington DC. And I used to visit India every year when my parents were alive, but right now I am not going there, and I want to come to India. And I like coming to India, but it is so scary to come to India, that being a Muslim, how will we be treated there under this present government? I'm not criticizing the government or anything. I just have these concerns and questions with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as well as with President COVID. So, both His Excellencies, please, address this. You can give a very nice message to Muslims so that they can calm down. That they are also looked upon. We chose, our ancestors chose not to go to America, not to go to Pakistan, not America, Pakistan. Sorry about it. Not to go to Pakistan at that time, and because they felt, they are Muslims and they have to strengthen India. And I belong to the family of famous freedom fighters who have, given their life, as well as, have gone to jail, and during the freedom fight for independence of India. And I am very attached to India because my roots are in India. And also I have worked for US India relationship. I have, without any money, without anything, I have volunteered myself for US to develop US India relationship. And what is going on now, I feel so hurt that why, I, as a Muslim, why we are treated like that. And I will read some news articles, just see what is going on. And I request to President COVID, and President and Prime Minister Narendra Modi to please look after look after this all. And and also PM Modi, when you addressed Aligarh Muslim University, I have lived all my life in Aligarh before coming to America, and my parents and my grandparents and all, they have given so much to Aligarh Muslim University. So I don't want Aligarh Muslim University to go down the drains. So, and I will come to that later on in the segment. So everyone who is listening, please stick, and also please see the whole program and analyze for yourself. This is the first time I am publicly speaking for plight of for Muslims, because it has gone too far. When a petition is being circulating to sign it, so I had to come publicly and talk about this topic. And I have always addressed if I have some concerns or questions, I have always addressed PM Modi and President COVID. So this is what I am doing again, and I have been addressing you in my live telecast for a very long time, and you all know me very well. So it's my request to both of you to please look. When Eid is coming, there should be no communal violence there. I was in 1990, I have seen with my own eyes, I was in India that time. I have seen with my own eyes how Muslims were murdered, and what all happened in Aligarh. So please look into the matter, that there should be no communal violence. And Muslims, they go for their Eid prayers, in a very very nice way. And I have today also, I most of my today also most of my friends are Hindus. So I don't know from where these Hindu people have come, and who is inciting them, that they are destroying the very ethics of the India, and government is doing nothing about it. I am so disappointed. I worked like anything free. My legs used to swell when I used to go and help, give my time voluntarily for US India relationship. I have worked so much, and so that is what I worked, and many other people worked on that. Just and I am a Muslim, and I'm proud to be a Muslim. That why we work to bring India at this level, because India is a country where I was born. I love India. I cannot see like what is going on for Muslims in India. So having said that, friends, and yes, I would appeal to President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to please look into the matter, what India is doing to Muslims. And also, I would request the former President Trump, that please look into the matter, if you want to contest again, for the American presidency, because I also want to know what you will do regarding this matter. Having said that, friends, let me now read some news. So let's start from how may US India relations under Biden differ from Trump era. And I read that in Asia Dispatches, and here it is, and I will read it for you. The conventional wisdom states that the US India partnership, due to the bipartisan support it enjoys in Washington, it is not likely to experience many notable differences now that there is a new occupant in the White House. This is a case of the conventional wisdom being correct, but we also shouldn't overlook some notable changes that are likely to emerge. On a very general and macro level, there won't be that many differences. The relationship impelled by intensifying cooperation in the security sphere will continue to gain momentum just as it did in the Trump era. The bottom line is this, that the US India relationship, generally speaking, was going to be in a good place no matter who won the 2020 election, and that's because there is a strong bipartisan support in Washington for US India partnership. And there has been for several decades. The relationship has gone in a big way since the early 1990s and especially since the early 2000s. That first boost came when Indian liberalization reforms and the end of the Cold War created new opportunities for cooperation on trade. And I forgot to put my, let me put that. So, on a very general and macro level, there won't be that many differences, but the relationship, impelled by intensifying cooperation in the security sphere, will continue to gain momentum just as it did in the Trump era. The bottom line is that the US India relationship, generally speaking, was going to be in a good place no matter who won the 2020 election. And that's because there is a strong bipartisan support in Washington for US India partnership, and there has been for several decades. The relationship has grown in a big way since the early 1990s and especially since the early 2000s. That first boost came when Indian liberalization reforms and the end of the Cold War created a new opportunities for cooperation on trade and energy, among other issues. The more recent boost came as shared concern over Islamic terrorism, and more recently, China's rise has sharpened. Biden himself is a long-time friend of India, and it is important here. He helped negotiate the US India civil nuclear deal, widely believed to be a major milestone for the relationship. And that's what I expect President Biden, to talk to PM Modi about. Why Muslims' plight is going down the drain every day, and there are such bad news. And I really have high hopes from President Biden that he will talk to PM Modi about this. He helped negotiate the US India civil nuclear deal, widely believed to be a major milestone for the relationship. He has described the US India partnership as the defining relationship of the 21st century. He has also often expressed his support for the Indian American community, which has long been viewed as a bridge. And this is very, very important because President Biden has so many, Indian supporters, So this is very, very important. And they are not only Hindu supporters, there are Muslim supporters also. So without Muslim supporters, he cannot win the next election. So he has to also see that. And I am a very strong supporter of President Trump, and that is why I have asked him also that if he comes again for re-election, then he has to also explain to us that what he will do regarding this matter. And I have to be fair, I am a very fair person, and that's why, I have to keep balance. I vote for American presidents on what they will bring to the table, what they will do for us. And I am not at all political or anything. It's just my concern for my Muslim brothers and sisters in India. And that's why I am very disturbed. I couldn't sleep. I have trouble sleeping when I think about it, that what is going on in India, because India is in my DNA, because I was born and raised in India, and my ancestors have done a lot for India, and they did not decide to go to Pakistan when Pakistan was made. So India is not only for Hindus, what this government is trying to do. India is for everyone, and please, please do not disturb the secular character of India. And that's what my appeal is. And now let me go back to that. In its early days, the administration has signaled that it will maintain a focus on two key areas of US India cooperation during the Trump years: the promotion of a free and open Indo Pacific, and also the strengthening of ties with two other close US maritime partners in the region, Australia and Japan, as part of the Quad arrangement. An initial call between Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and his counterpart Dr. S. Jaishankar hit on these themes. It's also telling that a prominent Asia analyst and former Obama administration official Kurt Campbell has been appointed to the role of coordinator to the Indo Pacific at the National Security Council. That's significant. All this said, we can anticipate some notable changes in the US India relationship in the Biden era, with both positive and negative implications for the relationship. Let's first consider the positive changes that could soon emerge. One is that the style and tone of Biden's engagement with India, and the world on the whole for that matter, will be softer and kinder, as well as more consistent and predictable. This means India won't have to worry about the possibility of impolitic distractions, such as mocking remarks about Indian policies or India's policy changes. Based on conversations I have had with people close to the Indian government, the sense I get is that there is a strong measure of satisfaction among Indian officials that they will be working with a more traditional US interlocutor, and this is important given how much importance they place in their relationship with the United States. A second likely change we will see is a willingness on the part of Washington to truly broaden the relationship into bigger issues beyond hard security. The Biden administration places a lot of importance on borderless threats, climate change above all, but also cyber war and pandemics. These are areas that the administration will want to focus on bilaterally with India and multilaterally with India and other countries. Other broader areas that have the potential to take off are clean energy and IT cooperation. In the Obama era, there had been some forward movement with some of these spaces, but they were essentially put on the back burner over the last 4 years. Biden will want to get back to these areas. The new administration may well convene a strategic dialogue, something the Trump administration chose not to do, that focus on these issues. The Biden administration may also encourage stepped up exchanges on non security issues on non government levels, such as by supporting dialogues between business communities and academia on these topics. On a related note, there will likely be an effort to get ties, but we shouldn't overstate an improvement in trade ties. If you want to read this, you can go This is the Asia Dispatches from Wilson Center by Michael Kogerban on February 16, 2021, and this is the article. So now it's a long article, so I read some important points here, and now let's go to another topic, that as everybody knows, there is war going on between uh, Ukraine and Russia. Russia has invaded Ukraine, and there are so many innocent people who are dead. And I don't know why, what is going on in India, that India did not vote to stop the war. What is going on? So I did a little search on that and found this thing. So, and if America wanted India to support that, why India did not support that? And then India wants a good relationship between US and India relations, and we as American Indians have worked a lot on that. We don't want to spoil anything, any relationship between US and India, but India has to look into that why it did not vote on Security Council voting to condemn Russia for this horrend this brutal act. You have seen how people, how bad those images are, and so I will read little bit upon on that. And this is, see this picture, and it quite signifies that where PM Modi is standing with the president of Russia and president of China. So this is a new alliance, I think. This is what I have read, and many will read after seeing this picture. Ukraine war, why India abstained on UN vote against Russia. Behind India's UN vote lies a combination of immediate economic and security concerns and long held assumptions about its geopolitical role and importance. And this is in Chatham House and 25 March 2020. See here, I'll bring it close so that you everybody can read this article. And it says, since the war in Ukraine began, India has abstained from various procedural votes relating to the conflict, along with the early March resolution censoring Russia for its military actions. India, along with China and 33 other countries, abstained. Five countries, including Russia, opposed the motion, while 141 supported it. What lies behind India's stand on Russia and its invasion of Ukraine? As Russia invaded Ukraine, India's immediate concern was the safety of the approximately 20,000 Indian students in Ukraine. This issue presented both political risks and opportunity. India has a long and commendable record of evacuating its citizens and those of other countries. While successful evacuations play well both domestically and internationally, the potential for disaster here was readily apparent, and that would have played badly at a time when India was undergoing a series of state elections. Giving the need for support in evacuating Indian nationals, abstaining was its best bet to avoid offending either side. History also plays a part. The Soviet Union used its veto on several occasions to protect India against various resolutions brought by the West regarding Kashmir, India's invasion of Goa, and the 1971 war with Pakistan, which led to the creation of Bangladesh. In turn, India abstained on votes condemning the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968 and of Afghanistan a decade later. In the 21st century, it actually voted against condemning Russian actions in Chechnya and Abkhazia. Behind this lies India's long standing position against Western imperialism. Though admittedly, to be consistent, it should equally oppose Russian imperialism. The abstention also lays bare the reality that Western engagement with India reflects a change Western perception of India rather than any fundamental shift within India itself. During the Cold War, Western eyes largely viewed India as a land of spiritualism, yoga, poverty, and curry. Its non alignment was destructed, making it dependent on the Soviet Union for arms purchases, links which continue to this day. From the late 1990s, however, the West started viewing India as a potential trigger for nuclear conflict and economic opportunity and a buffer or bulwark against China. But while India's outlook has certainly shifted over the last 3 decades, its membership of the Quad should not be taken as evidence that it is on some linear path to become part of Western axis. And from the Indian perspective, why should it pick sides? In recent years, by maintaining good relationships with countries hostile to each other, India's foreign policy has demonstrated that by and large it is possible to have your cake and eat it too. When it has engaged with countries with which the West disagrees, such as Iran, it has received a pass. And while India's ongoing purchase of a missile defense system from Russia has triggered US sanctions, most analysts expect those to be waived by President Biden. Some Indian commentators have argued convincingly that weaning India from Russia will take time, though whether India will ever reach that point must surely be questionable. That said, there are several arguments suggest that India's best interest might be served better by taking a more critical approach towards Russia. India's reliance on Soviet weaponry during the Cold War coincided with a period of strained relations between the USSR and China. In recent years, Russia and China have grown much closer, and in the aftermath of its invasion of Ukraine, Russia is likely to be even more reliant on China's goodwill. Unless China's attitude to India changes significantly, hindering Russian arms exports to India would seem an obvious means of pressurizing its southern neighbor. Relatedly, Russian alignment with India has historically balanced China's deep relationship with Pakistan. But in recent years, Russia and Pakistan have started to move closer. Pakistan's President Imran Khan was visiting Moscow on the day Russia invaded Ukraine. This leads to India's nightmare scenario whereby Russia flips its South Asia ally potentially under Chinese pressure, and India faces an alternative alignment of Russia, China, and Pakistan, and potentially Iran. This would put India in a deeply precarious position with regards to both arms and fuel. So this is also a long article, so I read that, and it is here if you want to go and read the whole article. And having said that, now let's go to another topic which is very close to my heart, and that is about choosing the new vice chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. I am very, very curious what is government doing regarding this matter. The present vice chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor, got an extension for 1 year, but that doesn't mean that he cannot be removed. Many people get confused, so I want to explain that doesn't mean that he cannot be removed before 1 year. And what happened, my grandfather, Professor Abdul Alim, was also vice chancellor, and at that point also he was given 1 year of extension while an active hunt was going on for the AMU vice chancellor, like Aligarh Muslim University vice chancellor. And then Khusru Sahab was appointed as the Aligarh Muslim University Vice Chancellor. So now, because I am an investigative journalist, so through my sources, I have come to know that there is an active hunt going on for Aligarh Muslim University Vice Chancellor. Now comes the next question, that what is in the mind of PM Modi and President COVID, and who they will appoint. Will they appoint someone who is not that capable but has acquired the highest number of votes in their AMU court, which is the highest governing body of Aligarh Muslim University? So because for years, this is the what first of all I will tell you what is the process of electing the vice chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. The Aligarh Muslim University vice chancellor is elected on the following things is the procedure. First, the executive council nominate takes 5 names, and there is a huge list. Anybody can apply for a vice chancellor. There is not a very hard or a line or anything. It's just that the age should be 70. His or her age should be 70 years, and that's what is the qualification. So many people apply, which is fair enough. Anybody can apply. And then the executive council meets of the Aligarh Muslim University, and they elect 5 people from the list who get the highest vote, and then they refer that to AMU court, and AMU court elects 3 people whose list will be sent to the education minister in the education ministry of India. And there the education minister of India sees everything, and then he or she recommends his recommendation and send it to President of India. And of course, it is not defined that whether Prime Minister of India has a role, but of course nothing can go in India. It is a very very line, that nothing can go in India without the consent of Prime Minister of India. Although it says that it is elected by President, but of course the input of Prime Minister of India has to be taken, and that is very good that the both of them decide. But what is happening lately for years, what is happening is who gets the highest vote is what the government sanctions. Now my question to the government: when my grandfather Professor Abdul Alim was elected, he got the least amount of votes, and the government chose him because he was the most qualified person, and in that 3 people list. And that time, like it was President Zakir Hussain who was president, and Her Excellency Indira Gandhi was the prime minister. And they looked through all the list and everything, and they came up with my grandfather's name because he was the most qualified. So I want that kind of fair thing in that, not just by votes, that you blindly select the person who has the highest number of votes. That's not a very good practice, because I want to bring to the knowledge of PM Modi and President COVID that lot of wheeling and dealing takes place because of this practice. Everybody and qualified people who are very smart, they cannot do wheeling and dealing. They cannot go and say please vote for me, because they are shy, or and they have ethics, because, and they also want, if people want me, they should feel from inside that they really want me to be the next vice chancellor. Like I would commend Lieutenant General Shah. you know he never went
to Aligarh Muslim University court election day. My grandfather never went, So and only my grandfather was, what I know from the data, that he got the least amount of votes and he was elected. And then former vice president of India, Hamid Ansari, he got second number of votes and he was elected. And just see, go and Google them, Professor Abdul Alim and Vice President Hamid Ansari, and see, what their resume is. So Aligarh now needs somebody of that caliber. And there are a lot of rumors going around, and one rumor is that BJP government is very, very active in concatenating the resumes of unknown people. And someone, told me this, that, what, okay, this, think about this scenario, that, even this could happen, that someone told me, and I'm so scared to hear that, that BJP government, they can bring a unknown person as a AMU vice chancellor, and that person would be initially Hindu, and they will, just for the sake of becoming Aligarh Muslim University vice chancellor, he would be changed into a Muslim name, a dummy, and sit here, and they will go with their agendas. This is not fair at all. Aligarh is an institution which Sir Sayyid built, and it is like a sacred institution for Muslims. And Muslims, Hindus, and people of every religion, like in that university studies. I had all religion friends, and I had everyone like that, like friends, and it has a secular character. So please, if this rumor is true or even not true, please look into that matter. I wanted to highlight that. Then the second question I have with PM Modi is that he has visited Washington DC several times, and there were receptions from the Indian embassy for PM Modi, and only Muslims were not invited. So what kind of attitude, or what kind of policies is this? Are we not Muslims? Are we not like Muslims, or are we not from India? Did we not help in US India relationship? So why we were excluded? And when Mr. Jay Shankar was the ambassador here, I had written to him, because that Eid function, there was not up to the mark, that Eid function. So, and you might remember me, Mr. Jayashankar, and you know me very well, that what I wrote, and you might be having those emails, what I wrote and what I did. So I am the same Dr. Afshan Hashmi, and I want to bring this to PM Modi, to President COVID, and of course Mr. Jayashankar, that please look into the matter, if you want that, that if you want to include Muslims in this. Even every year we used to have Eid ul Fitr celebration in the Indian embassy. That is cancelled when Mr. Jaishankar was the ambassador. After that it was cancelled, and now it has gone so far. I wrote a book on India, my tribute to India, the modern Mughal mentality, new strategies to succeed in India, and the global marketplace. And here is the book. This book was hot number one new release on Amazon, and also it was like Amazon bestseller. And the embassy officials, they were doing book release of many people, and they promised me that they will do of mine, but I don't know what happened. And look at the amount of the please go and buy this book and see what a good book and what caliber this book is, and what other books were promoted in Indian embassy in Washington DC. So why as Muslims we are suppressed? By where should we go? Like, we didn't choose to go to Pakistan, we stayed back in India, and India treats us like this. I am very happy with America. America is my adopted land, and America is treating me very, very fairly. And I love my America, and I love my India. So if India wants to look into the plight of Muslims, they should take examples that there are many capable Muslims who can be Aligarh Muslim University vice chancellor, and let them to freely work without interference of too much of the government. My grandfather was vice chancellor. I will tell you incidents. Somebody went and reported to Mrs. Indira Gandhi, who was the then prime minister, that something against him. So there was a hotline between Mrs. Indira Gandhi and my grandfather, and Mrs. Indira Gandhi called, and I was a kid there, but I will quote that incidents today. He was like, she said, that your complaints are coming. What should I do? My grandfather immediately said, that if you don't like me, I will resign and you can appoint somebody. And I was standing next to him. I was a kid, like I was not even 5 years of age. But that is so much ingrained in my head, because my grandfather was my role model, and his name was Professor Abdul Alim, and he snubbed the sitting prime minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, for this and that. And she was is so smart. I want to give Mrs. Indira Gandhi a flying kiss. And here I go. I respect that woman so much, and that is one of the things why I love her so much. She immediately said, no, 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 please don't resign. I want you to be vice chancellor, do whatever. I just wanted to clarify that. Just look at that PM Modi, and take example from that iron lady, that how smart she was. I know you will not like this because I am praising her, but these are some qualities that iron lady had. So whoever is elected, coming back to the topic, should be given free hand. I have done my research, and I have come to know that the present vice chancellor is under the thumb of the BJP government. That is what I don't have any proof to prove it. People are just saying about this, and he has to obey. And if he doesn't obey, I am hearing that he can be killed. So what kind of things are these? Like, if a vice chancellor is not abiding to what you say, you will kill that person. So is it that Indian politics has gone? And I don't know how far it is true. I don't have any proof to show you, but that is because many people say many things behind the doors, and they don't have courage to come and talk to you. At least you should give me that respect, that I had that courage to ask PM Modi and President COVID these kind of questions, because I'm an investigative journalist, and I digged into that story, that who will be the next vice chancellor. And this is such a horrifying facts which are coming, and like, if you don't like if you don't obey them, they will put you in jail and they will eventually kill you. This is what somebody told me, and I don't have any proof. That person might back off, so I don't know. And there are not one person, there are so many people who are saying this, but they don't have courage to come in front and say that. And also I want Indian embassy in Washington DC to resume calling the Muslim people and resume our Eid program. Because I'm helping India to be a secular India. I don't want to see India as a Hindu India. Well, you can make it a Hindu India, but you cannot exclude Muslims whose ancestors have given their sacrifice for that. Having said that, to PM Modi and President COVID, I hope you will appoint a very, very good vice chancellor and all that. And let me read like Aligarh Muslim University vice chancellor is the spokesperson for Muslims in India. That's how the high on pedestal that person is. So that person has to be very qualified. I can only say that. And one thing more, PM Modi, when you came to give centenary celebrations address from AMU, from centenary celebrations, you promised that documentary should be made on freedom fighters who have come out of Aligarh Muslim University, and my grandfather was one of them. Have you started making a documentary on my grandfather or President Zakir Hussain? Two people I know from Aligarh Muslim University and Ali brothers. Have you started that? If not, then why do you say such things which you cannot fulfill just to make happy? And then the plight of Muslims are so bad. So I would like President Biden to, before going and sanctioning anything for India, see what they have made of us. We all are living in America, and we all have voted. Many of us have voted for President Biden and former President Donald J. Trump. So I would request both of them to look into the matter, because you never know. I am looking forward that President Trump might come in next election, and I am looking forward that what it will be his policy towards Muslims in America who are associated with India, and I have high hopes from President Trump. And also President Biden, I will have high hopes from you, if you can look into this matter, that why India is behaving like this. And I don't want to complain or anything. These are some questions which have come to my mind, and it will give peace to me, when I share it on media, because it's high time. People should stand up for their brothers and sisters in India, and India cannot do genocide of Muslims in India. And I will read that petition which is going on. So this is from change.org, and this is Sonal Shah. I don't know who she is until unless I have no idea who she is until unless I have read this petition when my friends started sending me this petition, and it is change.org, and it says remove Sonal Shah from DHS for Hindutva links. I haven't signed the petition. I don't know who she is, but I want to bring this in this broadcast. In February 22, Sonal, 53, was sworn in as Chief Commissioner of Biden's Advisory Commission on Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. On 17th March, she moved deeper into the administration when she was appointed to the Department of Homeland Security's Advisory Council, a body tasked with decision making across the spectrum of Homeland Security operations. Her appointment may surprise some considering she spent years as a leader in the US wing of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad VHP, an Indian outfit characterized in 2018 by the Central Intelligence Agency as a religious militant organization. So this is very important. CIA said it's a religious militant organization in 2018, and here it is written. What is perhaps more surprising, however, is that Sonal's two recent appointments came and went almost unnoticed amongst the Indian American diaspora. It's a sharp contrast to her first presidential appointment in 2008, which promoted a month long international media firestorm focused on her past Vishwa Hindu Parishad on America VHPA role, as well as her family's deep ties to the RSS BJP's international affiliates, including overseas Friends of the BJP OFBJP, which registered as a foreign agent in 2020. Sonal's father, Ramesh Shah, might be described as a founding father of America's RSS BJP affiliates. His long-time role as an OFBJP executive was particularly helpful to Narendra Modi's political ambitions, which Modi's administration apparently recognized in January 2017 when Ramesh, a resident of Houston, Texas, was invited to Bangalore, Karnataka to receive the highest award India offers to non resident Indians, the Parvasi Bharatiya Samman Award. Other pre 2008 actions like Sonal directly to the American Sung. In 2005, she donated $10,000 to Ekal Vidyalaya, founded by her father and claimed by VHPA as their original project. Ekal, according to Indian media reports, creates RSS run schools which have helped the spread of Hindutva Hindu nationalism. That same year, she also volunteered alongside her father with Seva International, a charity which currently chaired by HHS Butada and is admitted by the Sangh itself, one of several affiliated organizations of the RSS. In 2002, in fact, Seva was subject to controversy in both the US and UK over allegations that monies it's raised were being funneled to RSS outfits in India which were involved in sectarian violence, which is so important. And I'm not making it up or anything. I'm reading the facts. And here it is if you want to read the facts. And I haven't written it, it is just public in the media, and that's what I'm reading. After weathering the 2008 controversy, Sonal still continued her involvement with both groups. In 2015, she was the keynote speaker at a Seva fundraiser where she personally pledged $5,000. In 2018, she spoke at an Ekal fundraiser, presumably at the invitation of her father, who not only attended the event but was then the outfit's chair. Aside from the details of her curriculum, YT working at the US Treasury Department, Goldman Sachs, Google, and a variety of think tanks as as well as serving on Pete Buttigieg's presidential campaign. Sonal Shah is best known to the general public for the deluge of bad press she endured in 2008. Today, however, she doesn't seem to take the incident very seriously. In 2021, after Biden won the presidency and the Tribune reported prematurely that Sung Link figures were excluded from the administration, she gave an interview in which she dismissed the whole affair as dumb and claimed the Obama transition team leadership had laughed at the allegations. Meanwhile, the Shah family has not backed off its advocacy for the BJP. Both of Sonal's parents apparently joined OFBJP to campaign in Gujarat in 2019. Whatever the future holds for Sonam, it seems that she believes the events of 2008 are buried in the past, just as it also seems that her half hearted dissociation from VHPA was nothing more than a passing opportunistic reaction necessitated by rising political pressure. She would not have associated with the VHP of America had she foreseen VHP's involvement in the 2002 violence. She claimed when all eyes were focused on her, but once the attention shifted, she showed no hesitation to associate with VHPA project like Ekal. In 2008, she denounced the Gujarat riots as heinous events and expressed her shock that VHPA could possibly stand by silently. But in 21, she waved off concerns about her involvement with VHPA as dumb. Moreover, from at least 1998 to 2001, Sonal Shah had no issue associating with VHPA at a time when VHP was primarily known internationally for its involvement in the 1992 Babri Mosque destruction, an act which sparked brutal riots that took the lives of thousands. She never voiced her shock that VHPA chose to stand by silently in the face of those heinous events. Why not? And then it says sign the petition, and I am getting so many emails from different organizations and all to sign this petition, and I haven't signed that. And I have come here openly talking, addressing the President Biden, as well as Vice President Madam Kamala Harris, as well as PM Modi, and and President COVID, and also the external affairs, the like Mr. Jaishankar. So I would see that what they do regarding the plight of Muslims in India, and whatever issues I have raised here, including who will be the next vice chancellor and how they will choose that. I don't want any wheeling and dealing. There are so many rumors which go around when a vice chancellor is chosen, and so much lobbying, and I hate lobbying, and I hate that, when lobbying says that give me this much votes, and I will give you an exchange of that, especially the student union presidents, because they also have vote in court, and those bright students, they are being misled that if you vote for us we will give you this, if you vote for us we will give you this. And so that should not happen, and this all happens because the highest vote, it is all coming to highest vote, one is chosen. If the highest one is very qualified, please go and choose that one, but the most qualified one should be chosen. My ancestors have given a lot, my for Aligarh Muslim University, and I love Aligarh Muslim University. And so I cannot see Aligarh Muslim University going down the drain by all this. And I will read little bit, from present vice chancellor's interview, and I liked that. And here it is. AMU can act as a catalyst but can't educate 200 million Muslims, says VC Tariq Mansoor. And there is a YouTube thing also. So just go and see this and see what he has to say. Uh, so having said that, uh, friends, and I will, and I would, when President Modi visits America, and if there is a reception in embassy, we all Muslims should be included in that. Having said that, and the Eid function, I hope embassy in Indian embassy in Washington D.C. Resumes that. And we Muslims have done lot for our ancestors, have done lot for India. So please, make sure that this is done. And also one thing, that the forthcoming vice chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University should be that figure who can negotiate the minority character with the government, with the current government, and see what he or she should be that qualified. And if PM Modi, you give minority character to Aligarh Muslim University, just think how much Muslims will start liking you. And think into those terms. And now, friends, this is your loving host, and radio and TV personality, Dr. Afshan Hashmi. And these are my two books. Please go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. And through the sale of these books and sponsorships, I finance these kind of programs. But this and program is not sponsored or anything. And even if it would have been sponsored, I would always have given my honest opinion. And that's what I believe in honest journalism. That's what I believe in. And for my second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I want a movie to be made. So all those Hollywood, Bollywood, Netflix, and whoever makes movies and TV serials or web series, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. And the comments will be opened here. So be very, very decent in commenting. Haters, I don't want you to comment on that. I just want people, it's better not to have comments. But haters, I don't want your comments, otherwise I will block you all. I just want to have a more stimulating intellectual discussion through the comments. Having said that, friends, now I want to wish everyone Chandrat Mubarak. Tomorrow is Chandrat, and day after tomorrow is Eid ul Fitr. So everyone, Chand Mubarak. And today, just what is the time now? Yes. So now it is aftar time, and so now I'm taking off. And cheers and Khuda Hafiz and bye bye. And one thing, yes, more, that to make, because my followers, they ask how I came up with this look. So I don't want to deprive them of that. This is the abaya which I got from online, and it is a Egyptian abaya, and it is so beautiful. And so nice. And how do I look? Do comment on that, because that's my style. At the end, my followers and all like that, to know that. So I don't want to deprive them that this is not suitable here. Well, it is my channel, I can say anything. And my followers love to get beauty tips from me. I am no makeup artist or anything. I am just like to dress up nicely, and I came up with this look. And how I came up with this look, this is the, and it is again green in color, so you cannot see it. This is the primer. This is, so I first sprayed my face with this, and then what I did was I put this here, another primer of face, and then I use this for moisturizer, and then this I used for bronzer, and the I used all these brushes for that, and these are from shop Miss A. And for then I used this, it is from Revlon, the concealer, and this I used from this powder, loose powder. I put it on my face, and for blusher I use this, and for lipstick, and for first let's go to the eye. The eye I use this pencil. It is from shop Miss A. This is from shop Miss A, the red eyeliner. These are my two beautiful blenders here. And then this is the setting spray. I sprayed that, and the lipstick I used was from Estee Lauder, and here it is. It is here. This is the lipstick I used from Estee Lauder, and here it is. And this is, like highlighter, and it is also from shop Miss A. And then the spray I used, I showed you. And so, and I will show you the, this is the eyeshadow I used, and this is uh, in my hair I have crunchies, and that I got from shop Miss A. Having said that, friends, now do do lot of commenting, but if you do comments, it should be an stimulating discussion, and nothing offensive or anything. If you do offensive commenting, I will block you forever, so you can never come to my YouTube channel. Having said that, friend, cheers and eat. Have a blessed Ramadan. Tomorrow is the last day of the holy month of Ramadan. So have blessed Ramadan, folks, everyone. And have Eid Mubarak to you, Chandrat Mubarak to you, and also like do give me sponsorships. People do give me sponsorships, because if I don't get sponsorships, I cannot finance these programs very much. So if you want this to continue, please give me sponsorship. And through the sale of my books, and from the sale of my books, I also give a little part in charity of my choice. Having said that, friends, cheers, Khuda Hafiz, Eid Mubarak, Chandrat Mubarak, and have a blessed Ramadan, and Khuda Hafiz and Allah Hafiz.